Is it that bad? You're 23. Ain't nothing happened to you yet. Yeah, but it will. All right. All right, we got Cameron here on Zoom. Cameron, what's on your mind?
Oh, hey, I have I had an epiphany about a couple of weeks ago when you was talking to I forget his name, but
A
man,
whole
daughter.
epiphany. That's a lot. All right, go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, to this dude, daughter, I forgot his name. But she was in the nursing field and you was giving her some pointers about upcoming problems she may face and just giving her some pointers, right? And I have a little sister who's in college right now, and she did coding when she was in high school, and she excelled at it. And in about a couple months, she made a whole band from doing that class. So me being the big brother I am, I care about my sister. So I was advising her to change her major to computer science or whatever um, area that has to do with coding. But she just has her heart and mind on having her own bookstore. So I wanted you to talk to her about
Bad, bad, super bad idea. That's called following your passion. It would be different if the world's economy ran on passion. It does not. So what she just described was the female equivalent of making a mixtape. Yeah, I mean, that's like having a flower shop. So does she not know about Borders and Barnes and Nobles and Books a Million? Does she not know about them?
right. She's on the side of me right here.
Okay, hello sis, how you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Another dark-skinned chick with nice teeth. Boy, they believe they can do anything. Well, this one smiles at least, so we're doing better than the last one. This one here at least, well, no, I spoke too damn soon. Never mind. Spoke too soon. She closed that mouth. As soon as I said it, she locked jaw. Okay, Jason, stop saying so much. Ma'am, I'm going to be very, very just straight with you here. We watched the annihilation of the American bookstore when Amazon rose to prominence. There will always be a place for books. Please understand that. There will always be one for it. But the American consumer has been conditioned after 30 years to see books as an online product. That's where we're at today. The reason I bring that up is because that means that the margins, because if you're going to run a business, you have to make a profit. The margins have been cut astronomically. Go try to get a loan for a bookstore and see what happens. Don't believe me. Listen to the banker. Go talk to any loan officer. Tell them you want to open a bookstore and watch how the conversation changes. Jason, don't throw cold water on their dreams. I'm here to throw cold water on your dreams. Listen to this. I brought the water right here. I'm dousing it all over this damn thing. So if you came to me about a mixtape, I would be saying, yeah, get your mixtape in between your engineering class. Yeah, do that. You want to do a bookstore? Fantastic. Do that in between your computer science class. But ma'am, chasing your passion is the worst thing you can do. You might get a lot of emotional satisfaction out of it. Yeah, but how satisfied will you be if you don't make no money? You run up a bunch of debt. You go out of business. You have a bunch of creditors. You'll be hating books after that. And you'll be blaming the rest of the world. Why don't these folks read? You can't serve people what you want. You have to serve them what they want. So if you wish to pursue this, I'm just letting you know right now, please go Google Books a Million, Barnes and Noble, Borders. Please go Google them. Folks with way deeper pockets, way older than you, please tell me what happened to them. And tell me why you're so much smarter. We'd all like to know. What do you know that Books a Million and Barnes and Noble didn't? So that's great. That's wonderful. I love literature. I love books. You talking about passion. Go get you a mainstay, and your passions need to be your sideline. And if it turns out, by the way, and that's the way it worked for Jeff Bezos. What? Oh, I'm sorry. Am I supposed to tell y'all that? Yeah, Jeff Bezos worked in what? Trading? and then started Amazon. So even he didn't do it the way you all are thinking. That was something they did on the side. He got money from his parents until he could make it viable. So me and your brother are not steering you wrong. And here's the thing. I am willing to say what nobody else will tell you. Call me back. I will stand by every syllable that I've said. If I'm wrong, do yourself a favor, go online, make a business plan, and then go visit a banker. And go tell them, hey, I want to start a bookstore. Don't believe Jason. Jason could be lying to you. Go prove me wrong. Go talk to any loan officer or any banker and tell them that this is what you wish to do. And then see how the conversation goes, and then tell me whether I'm lying or not. Oh, Jason, you just being negative. Okay, talk to them and then tell me if I'm being negative.
Something about your writing.
The other career options that I were also
by the way, how old are you?
Currently, I'm 20.
Okay, you look like you're 17. All right. So she's 20 years old, man. If she sits up here and gets some damn sense in her head and takes computer science or coding here, by the time she's 23, 24, she'll be set for life.
I wanted to take courses, computer science courses, instead of completely changing my major. My major currently is English because I was going to be a writer.
Useless! You don't have to take a college course to be a writer. George R.R. Martin, J.R.R. Tolkien, even though I know it was Professor Tolkien. We can go down the list. John Grisham, yeah, he was an attorney. You don't need a college degree to be a writer. Well, Jason, what about English? You hire an editor for that. You can go Google anybody. You can hire an editor to review your manuscript. You do not need a college course to be a writer. So let me... Water! I brought the water today!
Word.
What's next?
My career choice was going to be a writer, and I wanted to start a nonprofit.
Boy, isn't it amazing to be young and female? Boy, she's just full of passions. Oh, passions. Jason, I want to open a bookstore. I want to be a writer. I want to run a nonprofit. She's going down the whole checklist of female passions. This is such a beautiful thing to watch. It really, really is. Please continue.
My nonprofit, it was going to be helping...
An orphanage.
No. Helping women and children in abusive...
Didn't I just call it? I just called it and she said no. I said, you want a nonprofit to start an orphanage? No. Okay, what for? To help women and children. That sounds like an orphanage to me. Okay. Am I guessing this, folks? Am I making this up as I go along? Am I guessing my way through this? I said it before she did. Where are the babies? This is the female passions checklist. She gonna write down each one. I'm so glad she caught me at 20 so I can go ahead and dash these damn hopes. I'm hoping I'm doing a good job. She probably gonna get upset. I'm gonna prove him wrong. Like, oh hell, here we go. I'm starting that orphanage. They need it. Okay. I'm starting this domestic shelter. They need it. Okay. Listen to me, young lady. Oprah Winfrey did more for women and children by getting wealthy on her own than any nonprofit ever has. You want to help the women and the babies? You become a competent, capable, resourceful woman of your own. There are already a million nonprofits for exactly whatever you're talking about doing. Anything you could possibly think of, there's already a million of them out there. You know what they need? Funding. And the person who funds it gets to tell them what to do. You see the way she shrunk back when I said that? She's like, oh. She never thought of it that way. The person who contributes gets to tell them what to do.
I understand.
Okay, the sooner that gets through, the light bulb is flickering over her head, but it might come on in a moment here, but it's flickering right now. I'm trying to get enough juice to it so it gets on and stays on, but I'm working on it. Your brother has the right idea, and you had the right idea too. Just understand something. You're 20 years old. We've all been there. It's like career day at school. I want to be an astronaut and a dentist and a carpenter and a construction worker. Baby, find one thing that you can focus all of your energies into and become an expert at. You don't want to be a jack of all trades, master of none. You want to be an expert of one thing that you have perfected. That will give you maximum gains. You'll get way more than knowing a little bit about a lot. When you know everything about one thing, that's the sweet spot. That gives you everything else. It gives you unlimited income, unlimited networking, unlimited accessing. The way you talk about doing things, those are passions, and that's great if you were independently wealthy already. Well, everything you're talking about would be great if money were no object. You don't strike me, that's a very dashing t-shirt you have on, very, very nice and stylish, but you don't strike me as being independently wealthy. So if that's not the case, you need to fix that issue first, which means we need to be an expert at one thing, become extremely valuable at one thing, and then we will leverage that for any of this other stuff you want to sideline about. But all those other things you just named, those are sidelines. You can write in between your computer classes. By the way, every other writer I can name, that's what they did. So that's what you will end up doing regardless. The other thing is, how can you be a writer without enough life experiences? You're only 20 years old.
I was going to be a fiction writer, not...
Okay, but how can you write without life experiences? Because remember, you call it fiction, but the bottom line is people cannot relate to a book that they don't identify with. So there's going to have to be a human element in it. Have you ever been married?
No.
Ever had children?
No.
Ever had your heart beaten down, stepped on, smashed on, and broken?
No.
Then what the hell you gonna write about that other people are going to be interested in and identify with? There you go. Those things sound unsavory, but what I'm saying is that if your life is a 20-year-old party and you've never had your heart broken, you've never had any real devastating experiences, you're going to be writing books that are happy-go-lucky with a society that's had its heart broken and had a bunch of bad experiences. And all they're going to know is, well, she's just a kid. I don't identify with a kid. And you might want to, you can call it judgmental or anything you want to. The bottom line is most people are not going to be able to identify with that. So what you named is going to be great if you're going to be writing about makeup tips and hairstyles. Now, was that what you were planning on your fiction book being about?
No.
Yikes! What was your fiction book going to be about?
It was a political fantasy.
I don't think I've ever heard that before. A political fantasy. This is a new genre. Please do tell.
It's a subgenre of fantasy that mostly revolves around government and politics.
Have you ever worked in government?
No.
Have you ever worked in politics?
No.
Then please tell me what you are drawing off of to be an authority in order to write a whole new narrative. Because it sounds like what you'll be doing is copying and ripping off somebody else's work, as opposed to actually creating something new and authentic of your own.
I was going to be relying on only research of different political systems and government
without ever actually working in it. Let me give you an example. So this would be like a white person writing about a black female's life. Never lived in a black neighborhood, doesn't have any black family members, doesn't have any black friends. But she says, I listen to plenty of rap music and I watch Love and Hip Hop. Now, you take a look at how you are intrinsically in your gut right now responding to that. Right now, what you're saying inside yourself is,
nigga, please.
Now, that's what you're saying. Yeah, you're like, what the hell? You can't write about, you would be telling her, how are you going to write about something you haven't lived and experienced, that you can only understand if you've lived it and experienced it. She's not writing about her life. She's writing about somebody else's, which is exactly what you just described wanting to do. And what I'm saying is that that's not a writer. Don't be surprised when your work doesn't turn out nearly as gloriously as you might fantasize it would. It's missing the core element, authenticity, some frame of reference something that you saw. To be a writer, you have to have your own unique vision. You don't want to be a knockoff of somebody else's. People identify it. And they're going to tell you, wow, her stuff sounds just like this other person's book. Why, her style is just like some other person's book. Well, why would we buy yours if all you're going to be is a copycat of somebody else's? So once again, a writer, the first rule of writing, and you should know this, the first rule of writing is write about what you know. Well, I'm a fan of these books. Okay, well, I guess write about being a fan of those books. But if you attempt to stretch out into something else there and you have no frame of reference, don't be surprised, is all I'm going to tell you. But regardless of any of that, passions are great. They're wonderful. You need to be able to afford it. So I strongly urge you, to the exclusion of all other things, go get your computer science credentials, ma'am. You're 20 years old. Give it the next 36 months. You'll be set for life. After that, go write all you want to.
All right.
After you do that, baby, right till you get carpal tunnel syndrome. Knock yourself smooth, slap the hell out. Go do right after you do this. Now, brother, at that point, to your brother, if she wants to go join a hippie commune and be the computer science major who wrote books, then ain't nothing else we can do. She gone. Just whatever, bro. Man, she could have been a great programmer. She said, she got a degree, but she wants to write, book. Okay, well, we did everything we could do. Is just, this is the way it's going to play out. But otherwise, yeah, she needs to go get her credentials, all this other stuff. She can work on her mixtape after she gets this other. Because, boy, I'm telling you now, what city are y'all in?
Lafayette, Louisiana.
Oh, Lord.
Why you say that?
All right. Well, because economically speaking, she's probably going to have to leave.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
So she's already in a difficult place to be in because, Louisiana, the L stands for last. So Louisiana will be the absolute last place that gets its act together because the white folk who run the place, it's in their vested interest to keep the state depressed because they're the old money and anybody else's new money is going to drive them out, which is exactly what they want to prevent from happening. So they'd rather see an impoverished state where they're the king of the trash heap than see a prosperous state where they don't run everything. So the bottom line is, most likely, if she has a skill set like that, the only way to make it really pop off was to be somewhere else. So she's going to have to invest a lot of time before she invests money. I'm saying all that because she ain't got the time or the luxury of lollygagging around. She's 20 years old. If she has an acumen for this, she doesn't have time to waste. She doesn't have it. So yeah, she needs to be, she's 20. She should have been starting on this 2 years ago. So something has been a gap in here that she's been stalling around about for the last 3 years since she left high school. 2 years if she left at 18. So yeah, she doesn't have time to waste. She really doesn't.
Didn't you want to move anyways?
To Texas, maybe.
Texas, maybe. Okay.
That's where we originally from, but we had moved over here about like 10 years ago. We originally from Houston.
I'm about to say I-10, you all must have been from Houston.
Right.
So, like I say, yeah, she's not going to have the luxury of lollygagging about this. She just won't. So she's 20 years old now. Yeah, she got to be foot to the floor. That's all I can tell her. So the bookstore, barbershop, nonprofit, sipping, was it the bookstore, Sippin' Speaks or Sippin' Says or whatever it is. Yeah, do that on your free time. She better make a living. Because even South Louisiana, like I said, y'all see what they did down there in St. George, in Baton Rouge. It's full-scale warfare in that regard to target black folk to make sure you stay impoverished. There's changing the whole geography to make sure it stays that way. So you got to have your head on straight. Yeah, sidelines. Do that after you have a mainstay. So she needs to call me back after she's enrolled for her credentials.
Okay. For the IT workshop, is that a route like that doesn't require college? Like if you want to do coding or whatever, but you're not in college, that's what that's for, right?
I mean, look, there are several different ways you can learn coding. You do not have to go to college to learn it.
Right.
If you do, the great thing about college, though, is that you have a direct mentor, you have a direct teacher, there's a direct curriculum that you can reference. So you get guided through it. So there are advantages to taking that in a college setting. If you are able to self-teach, that's different. Not her. She don't do that. She needs college. But for people who can self-teach, they would do that. Not her. She needs a classroom.
Okay. I also had two questions for myself. I had two job interviews for the past 2 weeks, and one of them was a compliance examiner, and the other one was for an accountant. And I was thinking, what if both of them, what if I passed for both of them? Which one would I go for? I was already thinking the one who obviously has the higher salary, but I was thinking about how you can use your accountant experience for other jobs. Say if I was to leave that job.
It only comes into play if you're going to pursue your CPA. Anything short of that is not going to have a big runway to it.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
So if you are not asking this question in context of pursuing your CPA, there's a whole bunch of companies and government that call something, they have a position called accounting, but that's not an accountant.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not asking me this question in the context of, Jason, I want to pursue my CPA, then it doesn't matter.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense, because I did ask them about the license, and they was like, nah, for the accountant interview.
Yeah, they're not talking about being a CPA. So what I'm saying is that you'll be able to work at their job in a position that they call accounting at their job, but that is not being a CPA. Okay. One has mobility. The other one is a job title at that specific employer.
Right. Yep, that makes sense.
And I recommend for young folk, especially today, do not let these folk fool you here. They've been brought in 20 million illegals. They're only going to get about half of them out. And they did it on purpose. You all cannot be entry-level employees and survive. You're going to have to be skilled. So the time that y'all waste trying to find something to avoid that's time falling off the clock. So for both of you, you need to have your credentials. Computer science and coding, that's great. CPA, that's great. Anything else, you bull jiving.
Okay.
Because the problem with the job position is that employer could pick up and leave tomorrow. Having a skill set is something you can take from one place to another. It's not dependent on an employer.
Right.
Sounds like both of you have some looking to do.
Okay, I appreciate you, Mr. Jason Blake.
So does she. She's going to be upset with us for about a week here. She's going to be mad as hell. She's going to be telling you, you had these folk front me and clowning me. She will be thanking me profusely in 24 months.
Yeah,
she'll be thanking me profusely. She'll be like, Jason, thank you so much for steering me away from that nonsense. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I can see if I just came up with computer science out of nowhere, but I remember her specifically taking a coding class, and she was doing really good at it. Like I said, didn't you pass with an A or something?
Yeah.
She passed with an A, so she's already, familiar with it. So I was like, why not? Like I said, I heard you talk to the dude daughter a few weeks ago. I was like, Chloe needs to talk to Jason Black, and she needs to hear it from somebody else that know way more than I do, and to tell her, got her like, yeah, your brother is steer you the right way. I'm not picking on her or nothing. I just want her to succeed in life,
Glad somebody's looking out for her. Destiny could have used a brother like you, let me tell you. Them old crows she got circling around her like vultures. So you got some folks out there looking out for their families. She's lucky. Your sister is lucky in that regard because these other folk out here trying to sabotage, and they would have told her, "Girl, you don't let no man tell you nothing. Go start that bookstore." And then when it didn't work, they'll come back in 10 years when she's under a mountain of dead. Girl, people are just stupid. Okay, that's not the way it works. Not the way it works. Okay, she's 20 years old, so we are in the middle of March right now. There's no reason she can't get signed up and everything for classes here within the next 90 days. Oh, hell, what they say? Life comes at you fast. There's no reason she can't. Brother, we ain't here to bull jive. I meant when I said she doesn't have a second to waste. Have y'all looked around what them white folk doing down there? She doesn't have a moment to waste. No, she can have all this so that within the next 90 calendar days. She sure can. And if she doesn't know how, I got some folk who'll help her.
Do you know how? You know how?
I changed my major for the spring semester.
Yeah, because that English thing, yeah, no, N-O, no, not, nit, not, nay, never, no, not that, no. We are done with English.
All right.
Does she require some assistance? If you do, email me at handlethebusiness@yahoo.com. Handlethebusiness@yahoo.com. You can just give me the subject line, computer science bookstore girl. Just send that to me there and I'll help take care of the rest.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right.
Oh.
Thank you.
Oh, I thought you had a question. Okay.
Stay out of trouble. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. At least they got somebody in the family looking out for them there, because these other folks, they're just helping these gals, just anything that come in there. Girl, that don't worry about it. Get you an OnlyFans. What? Baby, that girl, that don't matter. You don't need no computer science, girl. Plenty of girls making money on OnlyFans. Don't let no man tell you what you can't do. Girl, get you a Twitch stream. Body count don't matter. Don't no man care if you was showing yourself online and all naked and things. Women do that all the time. Okay. All righty then. What could possibly go wrong? All right, let's go ahead and get back over here on Zoom. I've got Valerie here on Zoom. Let's wait.